Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Michael of Planner Time with Michael. Thank you all so much for joining me today. If this is your first time stopping by, I am so glad you chose to click on this video. I really hope you enjoy it and I really hope you find it useful. I was going to originally start planning I was going to pick a new planner for my social media planner since I haven't really used a social media planner in quite a while. And I was going to do a setup today, but I thought, as I was thinking of it, I was like, why not just set up or why not just do a video for people who who are brand new to planning and who haven't, who don't really know where to start or maybe need some guidance or have some questions like, okay, I want to plan, but how do I start? So I thought, why not do that? So this video is, I'm kind of gearing towards new people in the sense that maybe you don't have a planner yet, but you want to get one, you want to get started, and you're looking for some tips and tricks. I'm going to see how this video goes, and if it does well, I may try to make a series of these. I don't know yet. This is new to me. This is a new idea to me because I do plan with me's regularly, but I haven't really made any videos specifically targeted at, brand new planners. Where do I start? So the first thing is, let's say you want to start a planner. You've seen some planner videos maybe, and you're like, oh, that looks nice. I want to start one. Where do you begin? Well, the first thing my advice is to first think about, what do you want to track in your planner? What do you want to use your planner for? And I think you should be specific. I mean, a lot of us say, I want to organize my life. Terrific. Let's narrow that down. What parts of your life? Is it like something daily, weekly, monthly, more to-do list? What are you looking to track? So I just came up with, I'm sure there's countless numbers of ways to use planners. I just came up with a few because I want to keep the video shorter. To keep the interesting, because I know people don't want to watch for 47 years. So I thought, okay, what's one reason somebody could use a planner? And there's different types of planners, but we'll get to that. And so I made these little cards and I thought, okay, a catch-all planner. You guys have seen me, if you've watched me before, every Sunday I do my catch-all planner where I decorate it for the week. And catch-all means just that. It catches everything. So it's not like dedicated to one specific area, which you'll see in a minute or in a few minutes. You can have different planners for different areas of your life. But a catch-all means it catches everything. So maybe you want to track appointments. Maybe you have a lot of appointments, doctor appointments, or, you have cleaners coming to your house, or you have people coming to do, I don't know, renovations or any kind of appointments. Maybe you want a planner to help keep track of that. Along with that, maybe you want to keep track of different holidays. That's a big thing, like at school. I have to get better about actually, pre-planning, because holidays come up like that. And before you know it, they're here, and you know what I'm saying? So holidays, birthdays, maybe you want to keep track of that, like of your friends' birthdays, and, you can use a planner to help you with that. You can put their birthday on the date, but you can also put it like a month before and put a reminder in your planner so that you can use sticky notes, whatever. Celebrations, parties, maybe there's, you're having a celebration or some type of party coming up soon, and maybe you're hosting it and you need to plan it. You need to list out things you need to buy, or maybe themes that your party's going to be centered around, or your celebration, anything like that. A planner can definitely help you with that. It can keep you on track, and it can give you lists. You can check things off as you get them. Work schedule. Maybe you want to also put your work schedule in there. Like today I work, 9 to 5, or tomorrow I work, whatever it is, 10 to 6, or whatever your schedule is. Maybe and I didn't even think of this, but maybe it's like a family planner where you have it out and every member of the family goes to it, so they know, this person's at work this time, or this has to get done. I'll check it off the list. Something like that. To-do lists. A lot of people like to keep to-do lists. And, that your planner can obviously help you with that, because then you can check them off as you go. You can make your own to do list in your planner, whatever you want to do. Gratitude. I found for me that keeping track of gratitude is very helpful. I admit, full transparency, I don't keep up with it like I should, but it is really important because, it helps you to remember things that instead of always saying, I wish this, I wish I had that, or I wish I was like this, or look like that, it teaches you to be thankful for what you do have. And then, it makes you feel good. And then, you give off positive energy, and we're not going to get into all that. But anyway, gratitude. Weather tracking. Some people like to track the weather. My mom still, every time I call her, she's like, oh, it's going to be this many degrees tomorrow, and we're going to have wind or rain the next day. So I know I have to stay home this day and I can't go anywhere. She still tracks it. Hey, some people want to track the weather. You can. Maybe you have, outdoor activities planned and you want to track it. I don't know. Something, or maybe you want to say, oh, it was really hot today. Just something with the weather. Television shows. Maybe, there's a certain. Do people still watch television? I'm sure they do. But that's why this made me also add YouTube schedule, because maybe, you're streaming shows, or maybe you're watching, cable or whatever, and you don't want to miss this. Maybe like the CMA awards are on, which I like to watch more so in the past. But anyway, or maybe this is on and you don't want to miss it. Or maybe some people like to just list, I watched this episode of this and it was really funny, or it made me think of this. YouTube schedule, like I said, maybe, your favorite content creators, or whatever you watch on YouTube, whoever you watch, maybe, on Mondays they do this, Tuesdays they do that. Or if somebody's having a live, like when my friends, Lori Dean from Lori Dean Plan, she usually does a live on Sunday nights, so I'll mark that. And then Steph from Steph's Design Space usually does them on Monday nights, so I'll mark that. Just little reminders. Shopping lists, sales. Maybe, you're going to go to the grocery store, or you're going somewhere this week. These are the things you need. Put them in your planner. Okay? Or maybe you want to keep track of sales, like maybe, Walgreens is having a sale this week that I want to buy this, and this, but I need to use this coupon for, or whatever. And then that also made me think of memberships. Like I have an Instacart, so I would like to remember when my membership is due, because I may think of canceling it. So I need to know, started choking there. Woo! So I would like to know, when it expires. Or rewards. Maybe you keep track of, because I know today all the stores, practically every store you go in has their own card. They want you to get their own credit card. They have this, that, the other thing. Become a member and you earn this many points. That's so much to keep track of. Put it in a planner. Then you can reference it. Then you don't have to try and remember it. Now, of course, all of these things probably can be done on your cell phone. Personally, I'm not. I still like paper, pencil. I like to write things down. I like to decorate my planners. If you watch my channel, you see. So that's the way I prefer. I can't, I don't like to keep things electronically. If you do, then, go for it. But this, is still something you could do like in an electronic planner. Maybe you're a parent and maybe you want to keep track of school schedules. And I don't mean so much the hours, but maybe my kids have off this Monday because it's this holiday. Or maybe there's, these parent-teacher conferences are coming up. Or maybe I would like to volunteer with my school. Maybe my teacher needs, my child's teacher needs help, and, I want to help. Maybe I want to make this for the classroom, or buy this, or anything like that. Sports. Maybe your, kids are involved in sports, and, they have to go to practice, I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from, 5 to 7 or whatever. I'm just making up times. But, it's great for that. You can even do time blocking in it to where you do like 5, 6, draw the line between 5 and 7 and put here, so on. Groups, activities, maybe they're involved in sports. Maybe they're involved in some kind of extracurricular activity, or a group like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. things like that. These are all great things, to where you could have a catch-all planner that would catch all of these things. Now, some people like to keep different planners for different areas of their life. Like, they may have a catch-all, which catches everything, but then they may say, you know what, I want to track my food intake separately, or I want to track my wellness separately. Well, then they may take a wellness planner. Okay, some people keep a planner just for wellness. Some of the things they may, let me put this one aside. Some of the things they may track, food intake, breakfast, lunch, dinner. What am I eating? Maybe people keep track of their calories. I should really do that. I don't, and it shows. But, or maybe people have to watch their saturated fats or whatever. If you need to keep track of that, starting some type of wellness planner would be good. And, exercise tracking. I need to exercise in order to track it. So, but, that's a good thing to keep track of in wellness. I walked this many miles today, or, I rode the bike for this many minutes and did this many miles, or whatever. Medical, that's a big one. Like, maybe you want to use it for symptom tracking. Like, you notice you get, headaches. Maybe you get migraines and you want to try and figure out what's causing it, so you just keep track of it. Or, you're going to go to the doctor and you take your planner with you and say, well, they can even see it and say, well, this is how I felt these days. This is what I ate. Maybe this is affecting it. Something like that. Illness recovery, maybe you are, sick and you just want to, track your medication schedule. In other words, I need to take this pill, 3 times a day, or I need to take this pill every 4 hours, or whatever it is. Any kind of like tracking or, keeping track of things like that, like a schedule wise, wellness planner would be great. Mental health tracking, making sure that, you try and keep your life balanced. Because I know today, like when I was writing this, and I was writing this about parents because I'm a teacher, I was thinking, I don't know how parents do it today, between having to work full time, taking care of 2 to 3 kids, making sure laundry's done, they're fed, homework's done, your own work, cleaning the house. I mean, the list is endless. My hat's off to you. I don't know how you do it. Like, it's just, whew. And maybe you need to start thinking about your mental health, because maybe you're feeling exhausted and you want to try and balance things. Well, I need to take this many minutes each day just for me. Wellness planner would help with that. What kinds of activities make me feel good? Would I maybe like to read for, 20 minutes a day, or exercise, or just walk outside, or whatever? Keep track of that. And it can also sometimes force you to do it, because you'll write it down and you'll see it, and maybe it's a reminder like, hey, I really do need to do that, instead of just thinking about it and then skipping it and being like, oh, it can wait. Well, can it? Vitamin tracking. This is something I used to use. I used to keep a separate wellness planner, but I found for me, the way I was using it just wasn't working. So I may try and do it again, but for now, I don't have one. But that's something I used to try to do, because I would like to take, like, what was I taking? I think an all-in-one multivitamin, and then I think I took fish oil, and there was another one. I don't know if it was vitamin C or vitamin E. But just, if you take different vitamins, track it. You could even make a checklist each day and check it off as you go. I took this one, took this one, took this one. That can be very helpful. These are just ideas. Again, I'm sure there's a lot more ideas, but I just wanted to get some ideas as I was thinking of them in there. And then maybe, okay, we have our catch-all, we have our wellness. Maybe you want some kind of personal journal, okay? Maybe you want something, just for you. If you're, if you have kids, or if you're married or whatever, maybe you want something specifically just for you. Or even if you're single, you can list your personal thoughts and feelings. How am I feeling today? Or what am I thinking? Sometimes it's good to get things down on paper. Quotes. quote of the day. Sometimes, in my planner, well, not sometimes, I love to use quotes, any kind of quote. And, do you want a quote of the day or do you want a quote of the week? And then you can even put your reactions to it. Like, well, how do I feel about this? Or how does that pertain to me? I really like that quote. How can I incorporate that into my life? Things like that. Again, gratitude. I am thankful for. Mood and feelings tracker. Maybe this I was thinking you could. Oh, and I was thinking of it over here. Anyway, mood feelings tracker. How did I feel yesterday? How do I feel today? How can I, if I'm feeling bad all these days, what's causing it? Or how can I try and change that? Anything like that. Or maybe you want to go a different route and explore creativity. Maybe you want to just draw in it and then write, make little boxes right in there. Or maybe you just want to color it. Or maybe use stickers or inks or whatever. Maybe you want to stamp in it. Maybe you want it just for fun. Almost like an art journal. That works. Mental health monitoring and checks. This is where I was thinking, okay, this happened today. How did it affect me? Or maybe, I'm in this relationship. As I'm writing this, maybe it's not the right relationship for me. Or, I don't know. I noticed that today I had a really bad headache. Well, like I know with me personally, I check the weather. And a lot of times the air pressure is up. And I can always tell because then I have a headache. So, but something like that. Personal release. Write it down. Let it go. At the beginning of the school year, I teach second grade, and we always do the first day jitters. And there's an activity where I have the kids write something that they're nervous about, and then we crumple it up in a ball, and we get rid of it. We throw it out, and I say, okay, you wrote it down, now let it go. Don't think about it. You don't have to think about that anymore. It's done. You don't have to worry about it. Release it. Something like that. Like write it down and just let it go. So these are the three. I mean, like I said, there's a lot more, how do I want to say it? A lot more buckets or a lot more areas that people use planners for. But I just kind of wanted to catch on some of them. And with these, you're going to see that, all of these can go in your catch-all. They're all, it's just, I would start with a catch-all and then I would see, how much I'm tracking. And if I run out of room, then I know maybe I want a planner dedicated just for wellness. Something like that. So that's the first thing I would think of is what do you want to track? Then, okay, now I know I want to start with just a catch-all. Okay, I want just one I want to start with. Now, which planner is going to work best for me? Well, I'm sure there's tons of planners out there. I use the Happy Planner, so that's what I'm going to be showing. But I know there's a lot of different brands. You just have to kind of look at them and see. What are some factors? Well, cost is a factor. I know, at least for me, cost is a factor. The size of the planner. Do you want a huge planner to keep track of? Do you want like a small mini one to take on the go? Do you want like a medium size? What kind of size planner? The layout. There's different types of layouts in each planner. Do you want more like a monthly view? Do you want more like a daily view? Do you do bullet journaling where you just, or do you want like a time, I said it, what was it called? Time stamping. I forgot what it's called. But like time blocking. That's what it is. Do you want a time blocking layout? And I also am thinking customizability because, and I'm going to come back to that, because that's one thing I really like about Happy Planner is it's very customizable. So first, this is just one that I've had. It's a goal spiral planner. This is from Michaels. I got this in a grab box, a couple years ago. I haven't even used it yet. But this is just one kind of planner. See, there's like staying motivated, things I want to do to change and so on. But, this is like usually a planner will have a monthly view. And then it will go into the daily view. But do you want a planner like this where it's smaller and everything is here, and maybe you just want to list out, important things that have to get done for that day, or your work schedule, or whatever. So that's one time. Then we get to the Happy Planner, and there are different, first of all, there's different sizes. So when I always say in my Happy Planner, I'll say I'm decorating in my big vertical layout Happy Planner that I use as a catch-all. There's two sizes. And I hope I'm showing this okay on camera. But this is the big size. It has 11 discs. And this one is a vertical layout. So, you have your days listed here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. And you have a sidebar where you can list notes or lists or whatever you want to do. And depending on, some people like to break this morning, afternoon, night. I don't do that, but I mean, you can. You can say these are the activities I'm doing, until noon, and 12 to 5, and then, 5 to 10 or whatever. You could break it down by morning, noon, and night. You don't have to, but that's one suggestion. But this is the vertical layout. And I said I like the Happy Planner because of its customizability, because you can change out the covers. You can put your own cover on there. You can put a different cover on there. You can add pages. See, this was my word of the year release, and I kind of put different things on here. So I added this page in. I also added these little dingle-dangles, charms, whatever you want to call them. I added them on here, so I have them on the outside. But see, excuse me, you can add pages in here. You can change the disc. You can change the color of them. These are the plastic. They also have the metal. So that's really a big reason why I really like Happy Planner, is because it's so customizable. You can change it to however you need to. So that's the big vertical layout. And then this is the one I think I'm actually going to use for my social media. And this one is classic. So this one has the 9 holes, or the 9 discs rather. And now this one is a dashboard layout. So you have like tasks, important, looking ahead notes on this side. And then over here is where you have your days of the week. Again, this is the one I think I'm going to use for social media. But, you can decide, is this some type of now, if you have this, you don't always have to stick to this. You can take boxes, and cover these up. You can white these out and put your own heading in there, or you can put, just different size boxes here to write in. You pretty much make it yours. That's one big thing with planning. Keep in mind, it's very personal. Like, when I started planning, I kind of started to copy what I saw other planners do, but then it wasn't working for me. So it's like, if you need to, start with that, but then, you really got to figure out what's going to work best for you. Because I can keep, like I used to put breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I wanted to track that. Y'all, I never kept up with that, so I stopped doing it because I'm not keeping up with it. Should I? Probably, but I know myself, and I know I'm not going to do it, so why am I going to put it on there and not even use it, right? So, but this is the, what did I say? Classic sized dashboard layout. And then this one, I've never used this layout before, but this one is the checklist layout. And again, you can take things, easily. You can take pages out to decorate, put them back in very easily. You can, put your own dividers in, whatever you want to do. But this is the checklist layout. Maybe you don't want to do a lot of decorating. Maybe this is your list of things to do that day. And maybe, this is where you're going to track breakfast, lunch, dinner. This is what the major things I have to get done today. And, I don't know. This is, this birthday's coming up, or this is happening. Maybe this would work best for you. You just got to kind of figure out, okay, what am I tracking and how do I want to track it? Do I want something like this? Do I want the vertical layout where it doesn't have it just has the boxes like I showed you before? Do you want the dashboard layout? Do you want the bigger size, this classic sized? They also have mini planners. I don't think I have any of those, but they're smaller. But you just kind of easy for you to say. You just have to, like I said, figure out what do you want to track, and then think, okay, look at the planners. If cost is something, look at them. If you know you can't afford, a $40 planner, then, move down. Or maybe cost isn't an issue and you don't care about that. You want to move on. Do you want discs? Something you can take pages in and out of. Or do you want like Spiral, where now maybe you can take things in and out of these? I don't think you can. Maybe there's a way. As far as I know, there isn't. But do you want, something permanent where you don't have to take it in and out of? It just stays in there. So that's something to consider as well. So how much time have I been blabbering? Almost a half an hour. So I think I'm going to stop it there. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if this is helpful. Let me know because I'm thinking after this, I will start with I'm going to do it anyway, with my social media, and I will show how I move into it. If I change the disc or the covers, or actually I like this cover. Say hello to Happy. I really like that. And then usually what I do is with my Cricut, I make my name on vinyl and I put that here. But let me know if this is helpful. Let me know what you think of it. And if you're a season planner who's watching this, leave tips and tricks in the comments, for people to see. So I really hope this is helpful. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please hit that like button, as well as leave a comment in the comment section. That does help the algorithm. It helps to push my videos out to more people. And if you want to see more of my videos, please hit that subscribe button, as well as the notifications bell. My channel is growing, so I want to keep that momentum going. Thank you so much to everybody who has done that. I really, really appreciate you. I love reading your comments. Keep them coming. Love it. So thank you so much. Let me know again if maybe the next video I do will be, okay, now you bought this planner. How do I begin in it? What do I do first? So, yeah. So thank you so much again for watching. I hope everybody has a fantastic week, and I can't wait to see you in another video. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.